It's 7:58. You're listening to KRTS Marfa, streaming online at marfapublicradio.org. Recapping today's top story, wildfire raging through Fort Davis. Shortly before 2 o'clock today, a wildfire began about 1.5 to 2 miles west of Marfa on Highway 90 at a structure completely engulfed, and the winds took it north. It jumped Highway 90, fanned in a V shape. The winds raged the fire north toward the greenhouse, toward Village Farms greenhouse, past the airport, up over the rise into the canyon where Liz Lambert's bunkhouse and Bobby McKnight's ranch is, and up north towards one. The fire then jumped Highway 17 and threatened structures in Monte Prieto. No injuries reported in Monte Prieto. It was evacuated. The fire continued, and they evacuated Fort Davis Estates. They evacuated near the CDRI, the High Frontier, and they also evacuated Dolores Mountain. Structures burning in Dolores Mountain. The fire entered Fort Davis. Structures burning in Fort Davis. The fire now has raced north on Highway 17, although it continues to threaten homes in Fort Davis. The fire now has raced north on Highway 17, is up as far as Wild Rose Pass. It's approaching Midland. We know K News West 9 is also checking in on our stream right now. Also evacuated Olympia Crossing evacuated, all of Fort Davis evacuated. They were made recommendations that people on Davis Mountain resorts leave. There is no mandatory evacuation that we've received here yet. Again, Highway 17 north of Fort Davis closed. Highway 118 south of Fort Davis again closed.
Power outage. There's a power outage in Fort Davis. There is no power in Fort Davis, as well as that Olympia Crossing and the Davis Mountain Resort. So there will be no power at this moment there in that area. We do ask for any donations to be taken to your local fire station, as our firefighters in West Texas are volunteer firefighters. We do thank them for the service that they put forth to keep us, our structures, our pets, and all of us safe. So any donations are greatly appreciated. You can take those to your local fire station. But again, keeping you abreast on the information as it becomes available to us here at KRTS. We do thank you for joining us on the web at marfapublicradio.org. And we hope that we have helped just a little bit in this almost catastrophe here in West Texas today.
We'll rejoin the NPR newscast and hear a short newscast, and we'll be back with more. The time is 8:01. You're listening to KRTS Marfa.
So you guys have been at this for how long now?
2 o'clock, and
So going on about 6 hours.
yeah.
So what time the first
Hey.
report?
It was just before 2 o'clock, and actually I can play a little bit of it. It was, maybe I'll do that after the newscast. KRTS's own Rachel Lindley was on her way home before she went to her shift at the get-go, and she saw what she thought was her home on fire. It was actually a neighbor's home on fire. And so we raced out there with hoses, and by then the house had already been engulfed in flames, and that's where the fire started, we believe.
What time is it now?
It is 8 o'clock. And we've had people coming in all day checking. Unfortunately, our power went out at our transmitting site, which is in the Davis Mountains. We currently have a grant in for a backup generator that is, critical in times like this to have that type of redundancy. But we're still streaming online and through social media, and we're getting eyewitness calls as well. As the fire.
Hi. All of Marfa is dying for information. Jason's going to go around with news from the website and update everybody in the area. Since we are out of cell phone service, there's nothing, right? There's nothing.
No cell phone service. AT&T Verizon's working. AT&T is down. We're going to put something on a local radio station, the Cowboy Church radio station. We're going to put a news day. As soon as I get a chance to record a news update, they'll loop it on there. I need to do that, actually.
Do you want me to sit where you're sitting to make an update while you record things?
You know, what I might do right now then is actually record a news report that we'll send.
You want me to edit it?
Yeah. And then I'll give you the card,
Okay.
and you'll
Good.
upload it using. Do you know how to use YouSendIt?
Yeah.
That's my agency.
Okay, this is the
Yeah.
YouSendIt thing. This
Is
is
your
what
friend
we'll
Martha
do.
here? Someone's.
We're going to be paying him back for the rest of our lives.
In a statement, one of the Melville Trust.org.
This is Tom Michael, station manager for Marfa Public Radio. broadcasting at 93.5 FM. Well, wildfire conditions this weekend could shape up to be among the worst in Texas history, and far west Texas is no exception. Yesterday, Texas Forest Service crews helped battle the largest wildfire currently burning in the nation and the largest that has occurred in Texas this year, the Swenson Fire, which estimated 7,100 acres and growing have damaged. The Swenson Fire in Stonewall, Kings, and Knox counties. Here in far west Texas, shortly before 2 o'clock, a fire broke out west of Marfa, about 1.5 to 2 miles west of Marfa. KRTS staffer Rachel Osier Lindley saw her neighbor's house burst into flames. The fire was reported on Highway 90 west. Traffic was stopped. The fire moved aggressively north, fanned by strong northerly winds, and threatened the west side of Marfa. The fire moved north past the village farm and fanned out in a V-shape past the Marfa airport toward the Jeff Davis County line. It crawled up over the hill and into lands owned by the McKnights and the Lamberts. It threatened Highway 166. The cycling event in Fort Davis was canceled at 166. Traffic on 17 was closed about 2 to 3 miles north of Marfa near Village Farms. As of 3:50 p.m. on Saturday, residents of Monte Prieto were asked to be evacuated. They were advised not to take Highway 17, but to take Highway 118 through town and south into Alpine. Traffic was stopped on Union Pacific when a trestle was burned. Marfa Airport also closed. Shortly after, at 4:50 p.m., fire seemed to have damaged transmission of KRTS as power went out in the Crow's Nest area of the Davis Mountains. We continued to broadcast online at marfapublicradio.org. Evacuations were called for Fort Davis, for Monte Prieto, for the Fort Davis Estates, for the High Frontier, and Dolores Mountain. Evacuees were told to go north on Highway 17 or north on Highway 118 because Highways 17 and Highway 18 at that time were closed south of Fort Davis. Separately, Sunny Glen residents outside of Alpine were asked to evacuate during the 5 o'clock hour. Then, firefighters began trying to protect homes in Fort Davis. Homes, structures on Dolores Mountain and in Fort Davis were damaged and engulfed by flames. There was zero containment on this wildfire as of 8 p.m. on Saturday. No power in Fort Davis. The hydrants were running dry. Emergency responders were on the scene. A fire break was set up northwest of Marfa on the Brant Reich lands. And then at 7:30, outside of Fort Davis, Highway 17 north was closed. Also, South Highway 118 once again closed. The fire migrated north to Wild Rose Pass on the way to Balmorhea. Continue to have updates here at marfapublicradio.org.